This next story is exactly why it's so important to fly a bird of prey with a transmitter, a telemetry tracking device. I personally use Marshall GPS. I've been using it now for about 4 years, and I use it on all my birds, and it has become really very valuable. It is very expensive. In fact, the full set, brand new, definitely costs way over £1,000. A transmitter on its own is £400. If you just get the basic one, you can get one with a turbo on it, nothing to do with an engine. It's actually a little bit of an additional feature to get an extended range if the satellite's having trouble reaching it, and that's £600. I have the £400 ones currently, and I find they work really, really well. So just yesterday I was at the This Is Me festival. It's a really great event. It's aimed at people, young people especially, with disabilities, so it's really accessible to all, and there's lots of different things there that are great for young people and older kids as well, like sensory activities, there's live music. We of course had our flying show, and this is where it got a little bit difficult. It was a very windy day, and the barn owl, I don't think he liked it very much. Bailey, he just sat there kind of looking around, flew to the hand a couple of times, that was it. That was fine. Henrietta, the eagle owl, she was really good actually. She was doing lots of walking and flying about to this training perch we had, but that's kind of expected of her, and she did stay fairly low down anyway, therefore not getting to the wind too much. Roland, our Harris hawk, he's 5 years old now. He was fantastic flying from the training perch to the glove, over to the fencing rail. The people were stood behind that, and we had some volunteers and we did some bits and pieces with them as well, as we usually do, getting them to help us out, and that was all great. So then it came to Gulliver. Now Gulliver is my tri-bred falcon. He's half a peregrine, quarter a Jaya and quarter a Seika falcon, so a mix of three. 4 years old now. We've had him since he was 3 months old, so we've actually been very nearly 4 years entirely since we got him, and he usually flies really, really good. And I say usually because he can sometimes be a little bit stubborn, and he can sit down halfway through a flight, which is called pitching, not because he's tired, just because he's testing me a little bit really. But when he does get going, he is fantastic. And over the last few weeks we've had some really amazing flying shows where he really has been very impressive. He's best when there's some trees nearby, because he uses those to trick me as I swing the lure. So I set him off, cast him off there, and as you can see, the wind is helping him gain some height there quite quickly. He's kind of flying around, and what he normally does is have a little scooch around of the area to decide exactly what he's going to do. If it's a very big open area, he'll think, oh great, there's no trees here for me to use to trick you, so I've just got to go for straight up swooping about. However, he likes to fly around and think about the weather, and when he does start attacking the lure, he is really impressive. But unfortunately, the wind blew him further and further northward. He went over the tree line, and after about 5 minutes of me swinging the lure aimlessly, I figured, yeah, he's not coming back, is he? So I had a quick look at the iPhone, which is connected via Bluetooth to the Pocket Link, which is receiving the information from the satellite, and it was registering that he'd flown all the way up to a village that was some miles out of the city I was in. So I, of course, finished the show, thanked everyone for watching, jumped in the car. I had a colleague actually on display with the birds, and I drove up to the area where he was. That took about 10 minutes, and when I finally got up towards that village, I pulled over, checked again, and he'd moved further west towards another village, which meant going back to the city to drive back to that other village. Then, by the time I'd reached that second village, it was showing me he'd actually returned almost back to the venue where we were flying him originally. And I found him about 3 streets away on a roof. He flew down to the lure straight away. What had happened was the wind had really pushed him. Now, he would have turned and fought back, and he did actually fly back in the end towards the right sort of direction, but also there were lots of crows mobbing him, which is just typical at this time of the year. So a combination of things there. Now, the transmitter I'd put on extended mode, which means it would have lasted many, many hours. But even though it's a freshly charged battery on there, and even though I was confident that that setting would last a long time, you still are a little bit concerned. There's always a bit of urgency that you want to get to him as soon as you can, because it's not a guarantee that when you first get there, he's going to come straight down to the lure. He may have been mobbed by crows and be a bit nervous. Luckily, that wasn't the case. So, it was good fun. The day was a bit breezy, so I couldn't do any recording of my voice very easily on the day. It was a bit too windy for that and the microphone. but we had a great day all the same, with lots of different people coming and asking about the birds and talking about them, and lots of kids mainly holding some of the small owls and things as well. But one or two held the big owl too. So all in all, a happy end to the day. But yes, this is what I say, being a falconer, a display falconer especially, it is such an unpredictable way of living. You know, it really is. 1 minute I've got a bird to rescue over here, the next you've got an owl asleep in a tree, the next minute you're taking a bird to the vet, the next minute you've got a falcon blown off in the wind. All sorts of different things can come up, and you know, I actually really like it. Much prefer this than having the same job to do every single day, which some people really quite like, but that's just not for me. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We've got lots of stuff in the pipeline for you to enjoy here at Owl Adventures. And as always, thanks for watching.